My experience with the TaskHuman app has been really straightforward and streamlined, which I have absolutely loved. So I totally fell in love with using TaskHuman, and I really wanted that to be a resource that my students have. Um, College is complicated time in a lot of ways. And I knew that if my students could get this in their hands, it would be incredibly beneficial because it can cover so many more topics and types of conversations than we could handle in class or than we could handle with on-campus resources. So I knew that this was something that would be incredibly beneficial to my students and to faculty members, right? I mean, we all have things that we need to talk about, the areas we're working on. And so getting this in the hands of other people was really important to me because I see such value in it. So one of the huge benefits I see for my students is that TaskHuman is entirely portable. So if they are on co-op, if they are studying abroad, if they're just not on campus for some reason that semester, TaskHuman follows them. Those conversations that they've had with providers go with them wherever they go. And I love that. I love that they don't need a special location that they have to be in to get that awesome support. So I think that particular aspect of TaskHuman is really, really helpful for my students. Honestly, I have shockingly brilliant students who are preparing for some really high pressure jobs. And one of the things that Purdue does so well is prepare them for those technical aspects. And one of the things that I want to help us do even better at is preparing them for those lifelong wellness issues that they're going to encounter. So, how do you start managing stress in college? How do you start working with time management issues or relationship issues? How do you get a good handle on those types of skills that are going to be so important throughout, again, particularly high pressured careers? How can I help make sure that my students are off on the best foot for those types of issues as well as the technical issues? I would absolutely recommend TaskHuman to other universities. One of my big hesitations was, quite frankly, faculty members are overworked and have their hands in a lot of different pots and wear a lot of different hats. And I wasn't sure I could take something else on. But the TaskHuman team has made it so incredibly easy to offer this service to my students and have been really, really responsive with things that my students want to see on the platform and just ways that they can partner better with our specific population. So yes, I would give an enthusiastic recommendation to other universities. My recommendation, if you have not downloaded it yet, is to do it. Again, honestly, I was concerned about having something else on my plate, having something else that I wanted my students to do. But honestly, this has taken pressure and stress off of me, both through my own use of the app, but also knowing that I have a go to for my students who are facing a variety of issues, knowing that I am preparing them well for their future. So I would say if you have not done it yet, go ahead and do it and get started with it. Super smooth process and totally worth it. So, my best advice for someone who is reluctant to make that first call is to just do it. I know it's nerve wracking. It was for me too. But once I did it one time, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm hooked on this. So, one thing I would suggest potentially is if you have an issue you are sort of wanting help with, you don't even have to start with that issue. Maybe connect with somebody for a little bit of meditation or breathing or some yoga before you get into some of that deeper stuff that you're wanting to deal with. So if it's a matter of, okay, I sort of have this big issue and I have to use this new platform, take some of the barriers out for yourself. Just decide, okay, I'm going to connect with somebody, we're going to chat, we're going to maybe talk through a little meditation, and then maybe you'll connect with a different provider once you're more comfortable with the platform. I would also encourage you to remember that connecting with a provider does not mean you are in a long-term relationship with that person. So I've actually hit it off with everybody that I've connected with, but if you don't, that's totally okay. And you can try somebody else. So that that first call, just see it as practice, see it as a way to get your feet wet and to check out everything that TaskHuman has to offer.